Alright, y'all, I'm here with another episode of P Valley Season 1, Episode Don't Know. Alrighty, so I told y'all in the beginning, remember I told y'all, if you go back and watch like my first or second review of the show, I told y'all that in my spirits, I felt like Mercedes was gonna kind of be like a mentor to Autumn, and I could see how they was gonna eventually kind of match up. So, I didn't review last week's episode because I had a lot of shit going on, but yeah, that's what ended up happening. So, when we start off this episode, we got Mercedes and Autumn. They're running around to the different banks, pretty much getting all of the money, the wire transfers, and everything like that. Now, I don't remember because I watched the episodes back to back. Because I don't remember if it was this episode or last episode where the guy came in to the police off to the police station. I believe that was this episode. I don't remember. But anyway, he said that he was looking for somebody, and you know, I'm thinking that's the guy that they're taking this money from. But anyway, so they're going to the different banks, getting all of their stuff, using the different wigs, looking cute or whatever. And so then we get Mercedes. Mercedes goes to see her daughter. I think her daughter was playing tennis, which shout out to her, because I used to play tennis when I was younger too. And the daughter's pretty much mad at her, saying like, you were supposed to come and get me, you never came and got me. Mind you, this is that was the same night that she got locked up or whatever, so of course she couldn't. And she was just like, you told such and such, told the mama that, you was gonna ask her if I could come and live with you, but you have yet to do that. Now, I wasn't, like I said, I didn't review last week's episode, but it comes to find out that, the person taking care of Mercedes' daughter is the wife of her baby's father. So apparently she must have, had an affair with her husband, and then I guess he passed away, and then I guess she, took custody of the baby, because I don't know, maybe something bad happened with Mercedes, don't know. But anyway, so after they have that conversation, you see the mom come over to talk to Mercedes, and pretty much she's just telling her like, look, you're too unstable, and you talking about you want her, but guess what, you got to prove that to a judge, and you got to prove it to me. And Mercedes like, at the end of the day, bitch, this is not your child, this is my child. It's a precarious situation. It's a very weird fucking situation, okay? Then we got Mississippi meeting up with Lil Murder, because remember she had saw him and Uncle Clifford kissing when she was coming back into the strip club. Now, I didn't review last week's episode, but I do want to say this: the fact that Mississippi's baby father is white really threw me for a whole loop. Like, you got the game full circle fucked up, Mississippi. He got the game fucked up. Everybody got the game fucked up. Anyway, so she went to go meet with him, and okay, so Mississippi is feeling herself, because she, ever since she did that dance, that Mercedes, taking over the place that Mercedes was supposed to do, when Mercedes was supposed to do her last dance, all of her views and stuff for her video has been climbing. So throughout the last two episodes, she's been talking about, oh my gosh, y'all see this? Oh my gosh, y'all see that? And you can see she's starting to get caught up into like a little bit of like the internet fame, I guess. And so when Lil Murder comes down there, he was like, look, I don't know what it is that you thought you seen. She was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, yes, you better play dumb. But she was like, look, you want to see this? The funniest part about this whole scene is the fact that she was like, look, they got us on World Star Hip Hop. This nigga said, World Star? Nigga, I made it. I cried. Why is that so funny to me? This nigga said, I'm on World Star Hip Hop. Nigga, I made it. That is hilarious to me. But anyway, so pretty much she kind of the one, it's like she want to kind of be his manager, but she also want to like help, kind of like with his image overall, and pretty much said like that them two should act like they're together to pretty much help get like their clout up, which in all reality it makes sense, especially for him as an artist. That makes sense. So yeah, so then we got Uncle Clifford and we got his grandma, played by the iconic Loretta Devine, okay? Iconic Loretta Devine, okay? And she played the fuck out of this role as his grandma. She's funny as hell, dancing around, blind as hell, and he's telling her pretty much, how he got the eviction notice, about 14 days, they're gonna auction it off. And, she said that it was like a juke joint and that people been dancing there forever. Now, when I heard her say that and a couple other things, it led my mind to thinking that maybe they're gonna try to go about the route that like I don't even know if this is possible, but I thought automatically maybe they're gonna try to say like the pink is a historical landmark because of how long it's been there. I don't know. That's just like where my mind went, but I could be completely wrong. Okay, so then we got Big L, which is the guy who be sitting in the back of Uncle Clifford. He comes to go see Mike, which is AKA Gidget's boyfriend, whatever, and he pretty much wants to, get on with him because the pank is about to close down. So, Uncle Clifford goes to go get his nails done or whatever. Cause I'm sorry, I missed this part in here, but Lil Murder been trying to take Uncle Clifford out, and he told him, you can't take me out. Like, we can't go nowhere, or it's gonna be a problem. So he pretty much hinted like his grandma hinted like, why don't you just have him come over here? So he's at the nail salon getting ready and stuff, and then Eloise, which is the secretary of the mayor, comes in or whatever, and he was like, no, I know you was coming, sit down, girl. So come to find out, Eloise used to dance at the Pink, and he said that was the first girl that he graduated, and I guess she moved on to working for the mayor. But his whole thing is like, you can't like try to turn your back on us. Like, this is exactly where you come from, and now you're trying to let these people pretty much road roll us. Like, no, you gotta, whatever tea you got, you better give it to me, because I was the first person to pretty much help you. So then we move on, and we got Mercedes and Autumn. They are eating or whatever, and I like this conversation because Autumn was pretty much telling Mercedes how she needs to pretty much like diversify her like she needs to diversify her portfolio. She needs to invest into other things. She needs to flip her shit into Bitcoin, which I would love to learn more about Bitcoin. I just started like investing in stocks this year, and I would love to know more about Bitcoin. If anybody got any information about that, put that in the comments because I would love to know. But then Andre comes in or whatever. Now when Andre comes in, she sees him, he sees her, whatever, and Mercedes like, oh, all right, so y'all ain't talking no more. She's like, no, we're not talking. And so then they ask for their check, and he end up paying for the check for them. So it's like, I see you, Andre. I see you, big dog. I see you. So then we get over to Andre pretty much goes over to where like the brothers are and Corbin is. Okay, they're all having a conversation. It's about time for them to sign on that dotted line for them to sell their property to the casino. So you got there's little itty bitty shit that the brothers was doing to Corbin. Like when he was done drinking, one of the brothers was drinking, he was like, oh, Corbin, go get me another one. And it's like, you could tell his whole life he probably been treated like that by them, like kind of like a servant, a slave, pretty much. Okay, the slave. Okay. So when it's time to actually, sign the dotted line, Corbin is like, nah, like, bro, this is about generational wealth at the end of the day. Y'all thinking about getting a quick buck right here and there. What I'm talking about is generational wealth. We need to be able to take this land and pass it down. And if we lease it, we can keep it within the family and we can pass it down to our children as time goes on. If you sell it, then we're just selling it, And so they get into a whole little tiffy tiff because they still mad about the fact that they daddy fucked the help or whatever. So get the fuck over it, get over it. But while they was in there talking earlier, like they had like a gun or whatever, but it was like super super old. But when Corbin said that he wasn't gonna sign it, the other brother pulled out the gun and tried to hold it to him and tried to hold it towards Andre, and Corbin was just like, fine, outside it. Now, I did put this here. Now, I took contracts when I was in school. I mean, you ain't even got to take contracts to know, like, this contract is not valid. It was signed under duress, so that technically does not count. But whatever. We're going to get there, all right? So, so then we see the date with Uncle Clifford and Lil Murder, over there at the house, at his house. It was cute. I love them together. They're so adorable to me. Um, Mississippi is getting ready, backstage, and she's getting like her obsession with these numbers, like it's really starting to be like a little bit too big of a fucking, it's starting to become a problem because she's starting to become a little bit too fucking obsessed with these numbers and all of these likes and stuff, which is, it's real life shit, it's real life fucking shit. So she sees Autumn or whatever, and Autumn is in Mercedes' locker, so she goes over and she's like, well, I wonder what Mercedes would think about you being in her locker. She was like, the same thing she would think about you pretty much trying to take her place. At the end of the day, I share. And she showed her the gun that she had because Mercedes seen it earlier too. It's this cute itty bitty, I don't know, it looked like a 9, it's cute. And she gave her, the combo. So in my head, that's foreshadowing. I feel like what's gonna happen is that her crazy ass baby daddy is gonna come into the back of that damn club and gonna try to fuck her up, and she gonna go back there. She gonna pump his ass as she should, okay. Um, So after that, when Mississippi walks out, she sees Uncle Clifford and pretty much says, "Look, you don't got Mercedes no more, so you might as well just have me headline, and and let Lil Murder do it too, because his song is popping and I'm popping, so we might as well just do that. That does make sense." And he was like, "Look at you, bro. I'm not proud of you." Um, so then we have Andre. He's on the phone with the white guy that is supposed to be overseeing like the whole deal, and he pretty much lies to him and says, "Hey, I wasn't able to get them to all sign off on like purchasing the land, but if we can get them to lease the land, that will work too." So he ends up convincing the guy. Like he was like, "All right, I don't give a fuck. Just get it done. Get the fuck done, okay?" So then we have Mississippi. Mississippi, she's on the gram or whatever over there hanging out with Lil Murder and all his people or whatever, trying to get her views up. Mississippi is so pretty. Like that's one thing she is. She's bomb as hell, super super bomb. She's trying to get her stuff up. They in there talking about the little headliner that she got going on. And let me see what happened during that scene. His manager was there, and his manager was saying like, "Oh, we've been trying to get in contact with you, but where you been?" And the other producer guy is like, "Well, you need to be working on other music, because once this runs out, people are gonna want something else." And he's like, "No, we just gonna let this rock out." Now this is where you're fucking up, Lomar. This is where you're fucking up. Yes, you should definitely let the song that you have, let it breathe a little bit more, let people get into it, but you should definitely already have a song in a stash, so that as soon as people get tired of that song, you have another one to put out, and you ain't got to sit up there and wait and try to put something together. You already have it in the stash, so you need to be listening to your fucking producer, okay? um so yeah, but like I said, the producer was like, "Oh well, we was trying to contact you the other day and you wasn't picking up," and that's when he was over there with Uncle Clifford. I'm pretty sure Mississippi put two and two together and was like, he was with me, sit on his lap, and they started kissing. So they're gonna do like they're together for real, for real. I thought that when she had first seen him, that she was like, "We're just gonna do it for the gram." I didn't know she meant like in real life we're about to sit up here and act like we're together. But whatever. Later that night, Uncle Clifford comes into the pink and he goes into the back, and it's Eloise. She's in the back talking, kikiing with everybody, and she pretty much tells him like, "Look, the city for real is supposed to vote on this. Like they don't have to, but in all reality, they should be asking the city to vote on this. And because they completely skipped that, you can now go out and get a petition signed for people to actually make a vote on this, and then they'd have to go by that." So that's what he's going to do. Okay. Uncle Clifford goes and he bails Mercedes' mama out, and I forgot what he said to her, but he gonna use her some way somehow. And then uh yeah, sorry. Oh, also before that, sorry, because I skipped two things. When Mercedes and Autumn was at Mercedes' house, the guy from across the street came and dropped her off the fake ID, and that's how she got her 10 bands from Autumn. And then Autumn had to go to the bathroom, but she walked by and seen the room that Mercedes had set up. I think her name is Jerica or something like that. And then they kind of bonded and talked about their children or whatever. And Autumn's name is Autumn because that was her child's name. Her daughter's name. And also we kept thinking it was Hurricane Katrina when it was actually Houston. When that hurricane happened not that long ago, a couple years ago. Um, but yeah, so that's that. Also, before we get to the end, Andre ended up getting on the phone. We finally see Andre's wife. Andre's wife is a fucking doctor, beautiful black ass woman. He's out here playing bull bull jive games with her, okay? But anyway, so at the end, Autumn calls Andre, and tells him, that she's leaving, when she just wanted to say bye, and he looked all sad. "I don't give a fuck, you're married, sir. I don't care that you're sad." And then when the neighbor from across the street, he he put his ankle bracelet on one of the kids from the neighborhood. He ended up getting it back from them, and when he was walking back in, he sees the poster of Autumn. And like I said, he's seen her because he came to drop off the ID to Mercedes earlier, so he did see her. He's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Oh girl, the walls is closing in on you. The walls is closing in on you." I hope they figure this all out, man. I'm interested in learning more about Autumn's story, because I still feel like we really don't know a lot. We're kind of just grabbing pieces here and here and here and here and here. But y'all get in the comments, tell me what y'all thought about this episode. I thought this episode, it was alright. I liked last week's episode a whole lot better. But this episode, it was okay too. Tell me what you think about it.